I'm Dr. Coletta Parsley, Dean of the Patton College of Education, and it is my privilege to welcome you to the 2025 Distinguished Educators Hall of Fame induction ceremony. This is definitely one of our favorite events, and we look forward to it every year. Whether you are a family member, friend, or colleague of the inductees, an educator, a member of our UPIC family, a community member, or a pre-service teacher, and I am pleased to say that we have some of our students with us this evening. We are grateful that you are here to celebrate the extraordinary individuals who have dedicated their lives to shaping minds, inspiring futures, and leaving an enduring mark on countless students and communities. To our inductees, you are being recognized not merely for your years of service, but for your transformative impact on education. You are the teachers who stayed late to help struggling students, the administrators who championed innovative programs, and the counselors who believed in potential when others could not see it. This is not just an event, it is a testament to the profound impact that exceptional educators have on our society. To the families and friends of our inductees, thank you for sharing these remarkable individuals with the world of education. Your support has been instrumental in their success and the success of the hundreds of lives that they have touched. To the current educators and pre-service teachers in attendance, you are witnessing the legacy that awaits those who serve with passion, dedication, and unwavering commitment to student success. These inductees stand as symbols of what is possible when we approach education as both a profession and a calling. Every year, I always share a favorite quote from American philosopher Sidney Hook, who once said, "Everyone who remembers his own education remembers teachers, not methods and techniques. The teacher is the heart of the educational system." This evening, we do more than celebrate individual achievement. We honor the very essence of what it means to educate, to inspire, and to transform lives through learning. Near the back of your program, there's a list of Hall of Fame members from previous years. Do we have any of those distinguished educators with us tonight? If so, would you please stand and be recognized? It is an honor to have you with us this evening. Please allow me to introduce those to my right. Dr. Marisa Greer is our Vice President of Academic Affairs, and Dr. Paul Potter is Assistant Professor of Religious Studies. Dr. Music could not be with us tonight. To my left, my colleagues who are faculty members in the Patton College of Education, Teresa Daugherr, David Sloan, Johnny Fleming, and Michael King. At this time, Dr. Potter will give the invocation, after which Dr. Greer will give the opening remarks.
Let's bow our heads and pray. Our gracious God, we gather here tonight with hearts that are full of gratitude. We're thankful for curiosity and for learning, and especially for the teachers who have nourished and nurtured these things in us. Tonight we honor distinguished educators and we celebrate their dedication to their students. We celebrate their tireless pursuit of truth and excellence. Tonight, I give special thanks for one of my own teachers who happens to be an inductee, who took me on my very first trip abroad and opened my eyes to a world beyond the mountains. And like all good teachers, she opened my eyes to a broader world. She opened my mind to new ideas, and she opened my heart to new possibilities. Her influence, just like the influence of each of these other inductees who are on the stage tonight, it ripples outward in ways that I think most of us could never measure. An untold number of lives have been changed by those who sit here. And so, Father, today I pray a blessing on them. May their work continue to inspire. May it continue to build bridges of understanding, and may it shape hearts with a love of truth and wisdom. Father, today I pray a blessing on all who teach and on all who learn. In the name of your Son, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Good evening. It is so wonderful to get to spend some time with each of you, so thank you for coming to celebrate the new inductees that we have on stage. I don't think that any of us could be a part of a ceremony like tonight and not have a moment of reflection of a special teacher in our lives, someone that made a difference for us, someone who sees you when nobody else does. That's what I think when I think about educators. Although I never thought that I would be on this stage or having the career that I've had. My discipline's nursing. I'm still a nurse. I renew my license each year, although I am in this environment. I, by happenstance, got into education, but quickly I was like, I'm going to do this for a little bit until my next opportunity. I was an emergency room nurse. I always enjoyed when they brought students through to preceptor. The clinical instructor would drop them off and I would have them for 8 hours. And I was like, yes, this is great. I've got help. It's not going to be such a rough day. And then I was like, you know what? I really liked sharing. I liked sharing what I had learned and what I knew with someone else. A couple of years go by and I had a phone call that said, hey, we're looking for a clinical instructor. Would you like to do that? And I was like, had a new baby, trying to develop, that relation. Okay, where does the work-life balance fit when you're a nurse on the floor all the time? And I was like, oh my gosh, what's the schedule? And they're like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, clinicals, 8 to 3. I'm like, count me in. I was working 11A to 11P or 3P to 3A, so that sounded wonderful. I thought, I'll take that till something else comes along. I'm on 26 years of waiting for something else to come along. What came along was I found my place. I went on to get advanced degrees to the point of master's in nursing. Rural public health nursing was my focus and my concentration because the health of people in our area means the world to me. But when it came time to look for, we all say it, I'm never going to go back to school again. I said that a few times. But when it came time to think about a doctoral program, I could have done a doctorate in nursing, a PhD. I loved education so much, but knew I still had so much to learn that I chose to get a doctorate in educational leadership. It wasn't easy. I didn't think it would be. But it opened my eyes to more of what our P12 educators face. I did not understand that world until I entered my program. I was so blessed to have classes that were blended. We had some P-12 educators in class as well as higher education. I soon learned that in the world that I had lived that sometimes turned into an us against them, it's very easy to say, well, they just didn't get that in high school. It really opened my eyes. I had no idea of the constraints, the loads, and all the other factors that were facing those educators every day. I think in some ways, you're supposed to broaden your mind and expand horizons, and that did that for me. It opened up that world that I knew nothing about, and I now have such a different appreciation for those educators. I have 2 daughters that have went through public school in Corbin, had a wonderful education. I was so thankful for those teachers every day. The teachers that will meet you before school when they see that you like chemistry, when they select you to be that teaching assistant or to stay after school. Nobody asks them to do that. Nobody certainly doesn't pay them to do that. I've had colleagues go, well, education's not where you go to get rich. And I go, rich how? Rich through my income, my bank account, or rich because I have made a difference in someone else's life? I think that we all could sit and think about that for a moment. What is rich? What does that mean? All of the nursing students that I've had over the years, I'm so thrilled. Social media, not a fan. I say I'm not the most techie person. I only have Facebook. My 25-year-old daughter tells me I'm so far behind. And I'm like, this is where I am. If they turn Facebook off, I'm done. Not learning anything new. But that does afford me the opportunity to see the graduates that I had over the years. The ones that struggled while they were in the program. The ones that I gave gas money to. The ones that I bought lunch. And they are now purchasing a home. They're purchasing their first car. They're going to go see the beach because they always longed to do so, but never had the means to do that. And I sometimes just smile, send a note, sometimes I don't, but it's that moment that you think everything we did matters. So I hope everyone here today, everyone on the stage that's going to receive an award, there's so many more that we can't recognize, and there's so many more that make an impact. So for those of you in the audience, our future teachers, current teachers, maybe retired and you're still out there doing what you do, thank you for what you do. I appreciate you and I see you. Again, I want to welcome you to campus. Thank you for being a part of this program tonight, and I'll now turn it over to Dr. Parsley. Thank you.
So it is now time to begin the induction ceremony. My colleagues in the Patton College of Education will introduce each of the inductees. After each introduction, Dr. Greer will present the award. Each of our inductees will be given the opportunity to speak if he or she wishes to do so. So let us begin.
Jean Williamson Clark of Lexington, Kentucky, is a lifelong educator and community leader whose career spans more than 5 decades of service in education, public relations, and nonprofit leadership. A graduate of then Pikeville College and Morehead State University, Clark has taught at K-12 and college levels, including positions at Pikeville High School, the University of Kentucky Center for Academic and Tutorial Services, and KCTCS Newtown campus. A passionate and decorated Rotarian since 2003, she's held numerous leadership roles, including president of the Pikeville Rotary Club, District 6740 Governor, 2023-24, and Assistant Rotary Membership Coordinator for Rotary Zone 30. Clark has led or supported special service projects across India, Mexico, and Uganda, and continues to chair the Empowering Girls Forum with the Rotary Club of Lexington after hours. Her contributions have earned her multiple honors, including Rotarian of the Year and the Rotary Serving Humanity Award. In addition to her Rotary work, she has served on the boards of the Lexington Public Library Foundation and the Bluegrass Council of Boy Scouts of America. With a passion for cultural exploration, Clark has traveled to more than 40 countries, enriching her global perspective and dedication to service. She was my teacher. She was my mentor. Ladies and gentlemen, Jean Williamson Clark.
Thank you, Teresa, for your kind words, and Dr. Potter, that was lovely. I'm very fond of those days traveling with you guys. I know that this nomination was from you, and it was from the heart, so I really appreciate that so much. However, all the dignitaries should know that to give a bunch of teachers a microphone, a podium, and a captive audience, who knows how that's going to go off the rails. Just kidding. I'm deeply honored and incredibly humbled to be here tonight to accept this award. To be recognized in this way is something I never imagined when I first stepped into the classroom in 1969, armed with a lot of enthusiasm, a stack of lesson plans, and probably more nervous energy than confidence. Along the way, I've been blessed with countless students who challenged me, inspired me, and made me laugh. I've had the privilege of watching shy students find their voices, struggling learners uncover resilience, and confident young people soar to heights I never could have imagined. My students have been my greatest teachers. They've reminded me every day of the importance of patience, of creativity, and hope. Many have remained friends to this day, and I very much appreciate their friendship. Of course, no teacher walks this path alone, and if you'll indulge me, I would like to acknowledge a couple of people who have actually stood by me through everything. First, I want to recognize my parents, Jean and Bill Williamson. They're from Pikeville here. My parents opened the door to my pathway to lifelong learning, and they encouraged my curiosity about cultures all around the world and for traveling to unknown places. Thankfully, my own education began with the nuns at St. Francis School. Strict as they were, they instilled in me a love of literature, poetry, and art. I want to also recognize my teachers at Pikeville High School, where I graduated in 1965. I feel that my education there was absolutely a world-class one. I want to thank my colleagues, friends, and family for their wisdom and friendship throughout the years. I especially appreciate those of you who have traveled from Kenton County, from Richmond, Virginia, from Bowling Green to be with me here tonight. After all, our friends become our chosen family. Teaching is not a solitary profession, it thrives in community. I've learned as much in the teacher's lounge and at staff meetings as I ever did from any professional development workshop. This honor also belongs to the Pikeville community. Parents here entrusted me with their children, not only in the classroom, but on our many adventures around the world. Education, after all, works best when it's a shared effort. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is not just a personal honor, it is a reminder of the importance of this profession. Teaching shapes lives in ways we may never fully see. If I have left even the smallest ripple of encouragement, inspiration, or confidence in my students, then I consider my career a success. As I look out at this room, I'm filled with gratitude, but also with hope. Hope that we will continue to value teachers, support education, and invest in our children's futures. Because at the end of the day, what we do in classrooms reverberates far beyond the school walls. It impacts families, communities, and ultimately the world. So thank all of you, the dedicated college faculty who mentored me up here on the Hill all those years ago, my students throughout the 32 years of teaching, colleagues, family, and friends for taking this journey with me. Thank you for lifting me up on the difficult days and celebrating with me on the joyful ones. And thank you, UPike, for this extraordinary honor, which will serve as a reminder of the lifelong impact that we can make when we teach with passion, with love, and with purpose. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Jessica Devon Eversole. Jessica of Hazard, Kentucky has dedicated more than 21 years to the teaching profession, with experience ranging from middle school English and language arts to K-12 learning behavior disabilities, or LBD. She currently teaches high school language arts at Hazard High School, where she is beginning her 3rd year. Known for her holistic, student-centered approach, Eversole is committed to creating safe, nurturing environments that foster academic growth, character development, and confidence in every learner. She is a member of the Kentucky Education Association. She has been recognized with the Teacher Leader Award for 4 consecutive years, as well as the Mentor Teacher Award for guiding new educators. Outside the classroom, she is active in community service, including flood relief efforts, tutoring, and organizing local cleanup events. Eversole and her husband have been married for 22 years, and they're proud parents of 2 children, JC, who's a nursing student at Galen, and Evan, who is studying pre-law and criminal justice at Alice Lloyd College. Please join me in congratulating Jessica Devon Eversole.
Next, it's an honor to recognize the next inductee, Coach Philip Haywood. I don't think you could say Philip Haywood if you don't put coach in front of it. Philip Haywood had a remarkable career, not only as the winningest high school football coach in Kentucky history, but also as a humble educator whose influence reached far beyond the gridiron. After graduating from Eastern Kentucky University, Haywood began his coaching journey as head coach at Prestonsburg. He later took the helm at Belfry High School in 1984, leading the Pirates for 41 seasons and capturing 8 state championships, including a historic 4-peat from 2013 to 2016 and 6 runner-up finishes. His success on the field earned him widespread recognition, including being the first Kentucky coach named National Football Coach of the Year by the National High School Athletics Coaches Association. However, his impact as a member and role model truly defined his career. Coach Haywood approached coaching as a form of teaching, using football to instill in his players the values of discipline, teamwork, and perseverance, preparing them not just for games, but for life. At this time, let's, if you would join me in recognizing and congratulating his widow, Linda Haywood, and close friend, Brenda Phillips, come to accept their award for the inductee, Coach Philip Haywood.
Well, I'm a woman of few words, but I will say that Philip would be honored, but then he would be humbled because he never took any credit for what he did. He said everything was God's will. That's who he worked for. In one of our last conversations we had, he was heading down the road to go run some errands, and he said, Linda, I just don't think I'm doing enough for God. I've got to do more. I've got to do more programs. I've got to teach adults. I've got to teach everybody to climb that mountain. And I said, God said, it is done, Philip. He had the wreck, and that was it. But he would be truly honored. Thank you.
I'm truly humbled and honored that Linda asked me to accompany her this evening. And also joining us, I'd like to introduce you to Coach's sister, who's here from Austin, Texas, and her husband, Jim. Rebecca, if you'd stand. And I just want to take a few moments to show you a side of Coach that you probably don't know about. All the things that were read and the things you've read in the papers for years, all of his accolades and the wonderful things he did as a coach. But today, I'm just going to share just a little bit this afternoon with some things that you may not know about Coach. Coach was my favorite coach, and he was the coach of my favorite football team, the Belfry Pirates. I cheered at Belfry. I cheered here at Pikeville. And my mother said I was born to cheer. And Coach noticed that about me, for sure. And Coach had a talent for that. He knew that God gave us all a gift. We all have a gift. And Coach was the best in the world to find out what your gift was. And once he discovered your gift, he was going to put you to using it. If you weren't, Coach saw that you did. And I miss so much the calls I would get. Almost every week, Coach would call. The phone would ring, and I would hear. If I was back in the house and didn't answer it immediately, I could hear the answer machine saying, Brenda, this is Philip. And I never called him Philip. I always called him Coach. But he'd say, Brenda, this is Philip. You know, this week we're playing so-and-so. We need to do this. Or I need you to get on Facebook and make sure we get those fans out. Got to have the whole Pond Creek Nation here. And when he came in 94, I was the cheerleading sponsor at that time at the old Belfry High School. And he told me, he said, I want to meet with you and the cheerleaders and get to know you all. And I'm going to talk to them, introduce myself, and I got a few things I want to tell them. So one of the first things he told us was, he said, you know, I've always, as a coach, wanted to come out of the locker room some night and take the field with my team to a 100-yard tunnel. Well, you might know the very next home game, guess what Coach got? And to this day, if you go to Belfry High School's football game, you're going to see a tunnel on the field. And the announcer's going to say, all right, Pirate fans, it's tunnel time. And we hit the field for the tunnel for Coach. And also, he was not just a dear friend, but he attended my church. And he went to the Prestonsburg United Methodist. And when he came to Belfry, we have a Belfry Methodist. So he was my choir director. I don't know if you ever got a chance to hear Coach sing. Few people did. But he had a beautiful baritone voice that he sang. And Rebecca also has that talent and that gift that God gave that family. His mother also was a wonderful gift of singing. And he was a wonderful singer, and he was our choir director, and he ran that choir just like the football team. And we better be ready for practice because we were going to put through it. And we didn't have talent. We're just a small little country church in Belfry, and we didn't have outstanding singers. But you know what? Coach was always able to have us put on some of the most beautiful Christmas and Easter cantatas. If you've got Coach ahead of something, he's going to take what you've got and make the very most of it. And the thing I want to tell you too is one of the things he said one time, and I'll never forget this, and I always loved it. A couple of times when we were doing something nutty over on Pond Creek, like dancing under a red light after a big win or something, he'd look over at me and he'd say, "Brenda, this Belfry bunch is crazy." And then he'd say, "But it's a good kind of crazy." So I just wanted to share those thoughts with you. And if you haven't read his books, you really need to read his books, because in his books you will find that the thing that he wanted the very most, as Linda mentioned, was for you to find the plan that God has for you. God has a plan for all of us, and he gave us a gift. And God wanted you to use that gift to the very best of your ability to glorify the Lord. And that's how Philip Haywood lived his life. That's how he coached. That's why he taught our youth. That's what he taught all of us. And I will be forever grateful that God sent him to Belfry in 1984. Thank you.
It's now my honor to introduce Leanne Jeffers. Leanne Jeffers of Paintville, Kentucky, currently serves as the RTI coach and SEL specialist at Johnson County Middle School, where she's entering her 4th year. With more than 2 decades of classroom experience, she previously taught 9 years at Central Elementary and 15 years at W.R. Castle Elementary. A proud graduate of Johnson Central High School, Jeffers holds both a bachelor's and master's degree in elementary education from Morehead State University, as well as rank 1 in instructional supervision from Union College. She is a letters administrator trained Kagan coach and has mentored 6 student teachers. She's deeply committed to educating the whole child lifelong and creates inclusive, supporting learning environments that foster critical thinking and lifelong learning. Beyond the classroom, Jeffers is an active member of the MSU Alumni Association, a preschool and Sunday school teacher at Hager Hill Free Will Baptist Church, and a former PTO sponsor. She and her husband Brian have 3 daughters, Brianna, who's a nurse, Leslie, who is a 7th grade math teacher at Johnson County Middle, and Cindy, an 8th grade student there. They were also proud grandparents to Harrison, the son of Brianna, and her husband Harley. Leanne Jeffers.
Thank you so much. I just want to say a few words. I wasn't going to say anything, but on October 28th, we'll complete my 27 years of teaching. And all those have been in Johnson County schools. I've had wonderful memories with all my teachers I've worked with, former students. I'm very honored to have my name on the wall. I noticed some former colleagues of mine as well as some of my former teachers. So it's a very honor. And I'd like to thank my family for always supporting me.
I'd like to introduce you to Glenda Cochran Johnson, a dedicated educator and lifelong resident of Eastern Kentucky, devoted more than 30 years to teaching mathematics, history, and health at several area high schools, including Belfry, Hellier, Virgie, and Shelby Valley. Before retiring in 1991, a 1927 graduate of Belfry High School, she enrolled at then Pikeville College that fall and began teaching after just 2 years of college due to a shortage of math teachers. She later completed her degree alongside her husband of 65 years, Philip Johnson, also a Pikeville College graduate. In her tenure, she's proud to have never had one single disciplinary issue with a student. Wow. Glenda is a devoted member of the Church of Christ, the loving mother of 3 children, Melissa, Byron, and Nathan, and grandmother to 6, with 1 great-grandchild. Reflecting on her career, she described it as a wonderful journey, one that she loved every minute. Let's congratulate Glenda Cochran Johnson.
Just a few things, yeah. They can't shut me out yet, can they? I'm one of the old ones. So I'm so old that I probably danced with Elvis Presley in my teenage years. So my mother and father thought, well, you need to grow up a little bit. So they sent me to Pikeville College, and I enjoyed it very much. But it was in the days, like she said, back then they took you out after 2 years. So I had 2 years of college, and then they called and said, we need a math teacher, and I had a little math already. So up I quit and taught math. And for 30 years, I taught math. Even after I got my degree in other courses. But I would do it all over again. Pikeville College was a wonderful college. And I guess I did need some time to mature, but after 2 years of college and then have to go teaching again, it was trauma. But I made it. I had to give up my ponytail and my bobby socks, And there I taught ages 14 through 18, and I was only 19. So off went the ponytail and the Elvis Presley dances. But I enjoyed every bit of it. And I'll do it all over again if I had to. So I recommend to be a teacher.
Our next inductee is Angela Anderson Lockhart. Angela Lockhart of Pikeville, Kentucky is a celebrated educator with an accomplished career spanning more than 27 years in the Pike County School District. She's taught English at Pike County Central High School since 2000, following her early tenure at Belfry High. Lockhart was recognized as the 2020 and 21 Kentucky Secondary Teacher of the Year by the state VFW and a 21-22 nominee for the Kentucky Valvoline Teacher of the Year. Beyond classroom instruction, Lockhart has served as a journalism advisor, achieving state championships, a dual-credit English professor at Morehead State University since 2005, and an adjunct education instructor here at the University of Pikeville. She has developed widely adopted ACT and Coyote Prep curricula, held leadership roles in AP coordination, school-based decision-making, the Pike County Language Arts Writing Team, Link Crew mentorship, and student council advising. During the February 2025 flooding, she coordinated emergency shelter operations and supply logistics at her school. A Kentucky Writing Project and Moorhead Writing Project Fellow, Lockhart is deeply committed to mentoring new teachers, guiding university students, tutoring professionals, and supporting students in college and career readiness. She lives in Pikeville with her husband Keith and their 3 children, Carter, Connor, and Leah. Help me congratulate Angela Lockhart.
Thank you very much. So I have been a teacher for 28 years. One of my students said about a year ago, Ms. Lockhart, you really started teaching in the 1900s? Yeah, child, I did. Okay, I'm not that old, but 28 years, there have been a lot of changes in that time. Started off as an English teacher with file boxes of papers, and I would carry them from my classroom to the trunk of my car to the living room, back to the car, back to the classroom every single day. So I was a little bit happy when technology evolved to floppy disks and then flash drives and finally the cloud. I totally embraced that. I've seen the eras of the CARA era, No Child Left Behind, K-Prep, and finally KSA. But through it all, there are 7 words that stuck with me through all of these changes. These 7 words were spoken to me by a visiting professor whose name I don't recall, but his message stayed with me. Those words were, there is no substitute for good teaching. I've traveled all over the world and have observed students in schools all over the United States and in other countries. Some of these classrooms had technology that would make all of us jealous, and some had dirt floors, slate boards, chalk that children shared, and hand-hewn benches. Even in those classrooms with the dirt floors, there was advanced learning taking place. Did they have the latest computer software? No. But that didn't matter because there is no substitute for good teaching. Every time the newest education trend rolled out, the latest program, the latest buzzwords that revolutionized learning, honestly, I wasn't fazed. I'm in no way negating these trends and programs, so don't come after me. But at the end of the day, what matters most with student learning? It's not the programs. It's not the newest trends. It's not, again, it's what? It's the teaching. Because there is no substitute for good teaching. So if you're just embarking on your career in teaching, or if you're burned out and in a slump because you just can't keep up with all the things coming at you, just take a deep breath. And don't let all that stuff drown you. In 28 years, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of change. But at the end of the day, as educators, we need to keep those 7 words near and dear to our hearts. And class, what are those 7 words? There is no substitute for good teaching. Now, go be great.
This time it's my honor to recognize the next inductee, Mr. Richard Maynard. Now, it's hard for me to call him Richard. I'm used to calling him Mr. Maynard. Everybody up in Millard will know Mr. Maynard. Richard Maynard, class of 68 at Pikeville, Kentucky, is a lifelong educator, coach, and community leader whose career spans more than 4 decades of service and dedication. He served at Millard High School for more than 29 years as a driver's education, history, and physical education teacher, a basketball coach with 115 career wins, the most in school history, athletic director, and assistant principal for 15 years. In addition, you think about this, he devoted 46 and a half years as a bus driver for the Pike County Board of Education and led the National Youth Corps Summer Program. A proud Pikeville College alumnus, Richard was inducted into the Pikeville College Athletic Hall of Fame in 1993 for his outstanding performance on the basketball court, where he led small colleges nationally in field goal percentage and remains one of the school's top rebounders. He was also part of the 1966-67 Bears team that won the conference championship and was inducted collectively into the Hall of Fame in 1995. Richard is a member of several professional organizations, including the Kentucky Education Association, the National Education Association, KHSAA, and local Retired Teachers Association. Deeply rooted in faith and service, he has participated in numerous outreach efforts and currently serves as a deacon emeritus at Grace Baptist Church of Shelbyana. He shares his life with his wife, Mrs. Judy Bartley Maynard, a fellow 1968 Pikeville College alumna, their daughter, Dr. Whitney Maynard Roth, and son-in-law Bill Roth, and beloved grandchildren, Lakin, Will, and Colton. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Richard Maynard.
Thank you, friends and neighbors and those who came to be here during this recognition. It was just fabulous to be considered as a teacher that deserves a title like that. You know, I came to Pikeville College in 1964. Didn't have too many ambitions, but to play a little basketball as long as I could before I had to go home. And I've made a lot of awesome friends like Harold Lockhart along the way. I met my wife here, and she gave us Whitney. That's my daughter. She's a veterinarian, and she's just there to take care of us. And she married Bill Ralph. He was from Lexington. We've got 3 awesome grandchildren. One just graduated from Shelby Valley, and she's at school at Center College. And we've got 2 that's boys at Valley, and they're excellent students too, and they're going to make their own waves, and I'd like to be there to see it at the end. May not be, but that's all right. But the Lord take care of us. You know, when I was young, I used to say I was lucky to be certain places, have certain friends, and do certain things. But after I was saved, I knew it wasn't luck. It's all from the Lord. Amen. 1 minute, please. You know, he changed my life completely. I realized what life was all about. I could live my life for my kids, my grandkids, for Whitney and my grandkids, and for my wife, Judy. She's been a true partner along the way. We've had some great careers. We worked together at Millard High School, where I was the assistant principal for 15 years. And Miss Johnson, you're amazing. If I'd had a class or a school like she had, I wouldn't have had a job as assistant principal. But I felt like I earned my money. We had plenty of job security, but I loved my kids. Even if he was ornery, I still loved him. I told him in assembly. One come and told me, said, Mr. Maynard, what time you're here and what time I'm here, don't you ever tell me you love me. I said, son, I didn't single you out. I just told you I love my kids. And I did. I love my kids, always. And I was there, I was there 29 years, but I was assistant principal 26 years, and they were just a unique group. You know, each group, each area in the county has kids that's got special and certain needs. And what I want to do is change lives in these children and see that what they could do with their efforts. Some didn't want to do anything. And I stayed with some of them longer than I should have because I neglected kids. Probably would have been worth something, but that's all right. I enjoyed all of them. And I enjoyed the people I taught school with. I enjoyed Millard and all my friends. You know, I met a lot of people along the way. I played basketball here at Poplar College for 4 years and coached for several years. So you're all over the county and you're all over Johnson County, all the counties. It's just you made friends every place. And I'm thankful for those experiences and those people. I see them now and recognize them now. And we enjoy talking about old times and how it used to be. And me and Howard, we talked about the way we played independent ball like Wallman, and we survived it. It was fun. It was fun to watch. I like to watch somebody play that hard again, but they never did play that hard, so we played hard. But I'm thankful for each one of you here, and just thankful for this institution. It's changes kids' lives, not just here in Pike County. It's nationwide. We've got them comes in here from all over the country, and we're just blessed to have opportunities for them to better their life. And it just means a lot to me that this university means a lot to me, and we'll pray for it and support it. I'm thankful for each one of you, thankful for all my friends that came to be here to watch me get something I might have deserved, might not have, I don't know. But thanks for the experience and with all the kids, and thank you guys for coming.
It's now my honor to introduce Sandy Mullins Mims. Can't lose my glasses. Sandy Mims, 87, of Harold, Kentucky, is a dedicated educator and mentor who has spent the last 15 years serving as Business and Jobs for America's Graduates, JAG. Teacher at Betsy Lane High School, she holds a bachelor's degree in business from then Pikeville College and both a master's in clinical psychology and a master's in teaching from Morehead State University. Before entering the classroom, Mims worked as a psychological associate for 7 years, later continuing to support education as an adjunct professor at Big Sandy Community and Technical College and Pikeville College while focusing on her family. Passionate about empowering youth, she's committed to helping students prepare for their futures through career readiness and personal development. A recipient of the BLHS Gold Star Award for Service, she is an active member of the Kentucky Business Education Association and the Coal Run Church of Christ. She is also the proud wife to Tony Mims and the mother to 3 children, Dominique, Nathaniel, and Chase.
Well, it's a real honor to introduce Kay Sproles. Johnny Fleming, my colleague, was supposed to read this one, and he said, I just don't think I could get through it. So, thanks, Johnny. Kay Sproles, a beloved educator from Virgie, Kentucky, taught mathematics at Virgie High School and Shelby Valley School for 27 and a half years before retiring in 2009. She inspired a generation of students to fall in love with math and motivated many, including her own daughter, to follow in her footsteps as a math teacher. Sproles began her college education at Alice Lloyd College and earned both her undergraduate and master's degrees from then Pikeville College. She was a devoted member of Long Fork Free Will Baptist Church. She was the mother of 2 children and had 6 grandchildren. I believe her granddaughter is going to be accepting this award for her. Her daughter is going to be accepting this award for her, so let's give a nice round of applause for Kay Sproles.
As we draw this memorable evening to a close, we carry with us the inspiring stories and remarkable achievements we have celebrated tonight. To our newly inducted Hall of Fame members, you now join an exclusive community of educators whose legacy will inspire generations of educators to come. Your names will grace our dedicated wall as eternal reminders that excellence in education is not just an aspiration, it is an achievable reality. To all the educators and pre-service teachers who are present tonight, remember that you too are writing your own chapter in this grand story of educational impact. In conclusion, I want to thank all of you for joining us in this momentous occasion. Together, let's honor the achievements of the 2025 Distinguished Educators and the lasting legacy they have created in education. Let's give them one more round of applause. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. This concludes our program, and we request that the distinguished educators meet outside this door for a group picture. Thank you.